Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bi-idhnillah, today we continue with our follow-ups. Today is Surah Abasa. Please have your mushaf and your notes available. Today we will be doing Surah Abasa, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the health and the free time. We thank Him for that by using the gifts and the ni'mas that He has given us. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Now with a lot of enunciation I guess. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رحيم. عبس وتولى. عبس 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 وتولى. عبس وتولى. Make sure you're only stretching one correctly. So عبس عبس وتولى. ولى أن جاءه الأعمى. Noon sukoon, anja is noon sukoon followed by the letter jim, or noon connect followed by the letter jim. You know that it's going to be tongue not touch ikhfa, but what we're going to do here is we're going to add on and realize that it's a light ikhfa. It's not anja, it's anja. Now I want you to keep in mind, Jim is going to be stretched. You know it's being stretched for a minimum here. Look at your notes and make sure that you're giving it its right. Ja'ahul a'ma. Anytime there's an alif, ayn sukoon, I want you to bite into the sound. A'ma, a'ma. Ja'ahul a'ma. You may not need to do this all the time. You're going to start out here at the beginning. I want you to keep it slow and enunciated. And after a while, you'll say a'ma. But for now, a'ma. Now watch the transition. The sound doesn't end. Ma. It's a'ma. First part of the throat, a. Second part of the throat, a. So a'ma. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ. Yud. Anytime we see the U shape, we do the kiss. يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. يَزَّكَّى. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ. Now double shadda, anytime we have double W's, we're going to hold the sound each time, so you have to hear it being held. We're going to hold it each time with the W. I want to hear it twice. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ. يَذَّكَّرُ is holding one. So press it. يَذَّكَّرُ فَتًا. Fatan is going to be a noon sukoon. You look at it. Wait a minute. Is it fatan or is it fatan? It's a noon connect followed by a letter that doesn't live in the throat. Look at your notes. You'll figure out what lives in the throat and what doesn't. Fatanfa'ahu. Fatanfa'ahu. Dhal shadda. Hudhikra. Fatanfa'ahu. Hudhikra. And I'm sure it's more important for you that you put the pronunciation on the huz. Listen to huz. This sounds wrong. So, فَتَنْفَعَهُ الذِّكْرَى. The whole verse together, number 4. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ فتنفعه الذكرى فتنفعه الذكرى ميم شدة أما من استغنى. Keep that stretch only to 2. من استغنى. I'm going to backtrack here. We're on verse 5 of Surah Abasa. I'm going back to verse number 4. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ فَتَنْفَعَهُ الذِّكْرَى. I just want to give a quick touch here. Dhik. You hear there's a little click. There's humps here. If you're ready to take that in, then go ahead and practice. But if you're still saying فَتَنْفَعَهُ الذِّكْرَى, then don't worry about what you say. Dhikra. And for those of you who are going to be practicing and studying the humps, this little click, dhikra, know one thing. Every time I've tried to do the humps, to say dhikra, it comes out dhikra. Every time you let it come out naturally, as Imam Jazari quotes in the famous poem, Al-Jazari, Al-Jazariya, you'll find that it's just natural. Let it come out. Dhikra. Don't force it. So now, verse number 4. أَوْ يَذَّكَّرُ فَتَنْفَعَهُ الذِّكْرَى أَمَّا من استغنى. You know the ta is light, the ghain is heavy. Watch the transition. You don't need to make the O shape. I'm doing it to help all of us. أَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى فَأَنْتَ لَهُ تَصَدَّى فَأَنْتَ لَهُ تصدى فأنت له تصدى. You have the tongue not touch ikhfa here. You know that tongue noon sukun followed by ta. فأنت له تصدى وما عليك ألا يزكى. Double shadda again. وما or وما wet. وما عليك ألا يزكى وأما من جاءك يسعى وأما من جاءك يسعى. And we've talked about this before. I'm going to hint at it again. Seen and sheen, the sound spreads. You could call it tafashi, or you just call it the sound spreads. Yes. Now listen to it without the spreading of the sound. Yas'a. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. And you see exaggeration in the mouth. I'm just trying to get the sound clearly to you. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. You don't have to open your mouth as much, but in the beginning, like for the first 10 times, I would. Keep your mouth open. Let your ear hear the correct sound first, and then you can read it. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. And there's not as much exaggeration. But don't focus on that now. Verse number 9. وَهُوَ. All of you be very careful in saying وَهُوَ. You hear it? Waw and ha are not being corrected. Start and finish the waw. Who. وهو 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 يخشى Kha is heavy. So you're going to see the exaggerated transition here. يخشى وهو يخشى وهو يخشى فأنت عنه تلهى فأنت. Example of a light tongue not touch, إخفى. عنه, an example of a tongue touch. عنه, because ha is a letter of the throat. عنه. Now ta, lam, ha, shadda. Ha with the W on top of it. Tala, tala, talaha, talaha. Ha lives in the throat. The first part, I want you to bring the sound. Talaha. You're going to be able to identify it from the throat. Talaha. كلا إنها تذكرة كلا إنها تذكرة كرة تذكرة. I'm giving you a lot of tongue so that you can make تذكرة. كلا إنها تذكرة إنها تذكرة. Press the nasal sound. إنها تذكرة. Ra. Ra is heavy and you're ending on the feminine ta. This ta is going to turn into a ha. When you stop on it, the sound gets, it reverberates in your chest. تذكرة. فمن شاء ذكره أذكره فمن شاء ذكره أذكره فمن شاء ذكره. Look for that stereo sound at the end. في صحف في صحف في صحف في صحف في. We're going to stretch for a minimum 2 here. في صحف صحف مكرمة مكرمة في صحف مكرمة في صحف مكرمة مرفوعة مطهرة مرفوعة. I want you to get the ayn here. مرفوعة مطهرة. Just hit rewind. I'll recite it once slowly. Just hit rewind a couple of times for this one. مرفوعة مطهرة مرفوعة مطهرة بأيدي سفرة بأيدي سفرة كرام بررة. Kirami is going to be followed by a baby meme. Kiramin barara. You get dizzy if you do the stereo sound too many times. So you don't have to exaggerate. Mutahhara is fine. Mutahhara is exaggerated, and after a while you get a little dizzy. So if you're dizzy, take a break. There's no passing out while reading Quran. بأيدي سفرة. Verse number 15. I'm praying that you can hear it. كرام بررة كرام بررة كرام بررة بررة قتل الإنسان ما أكفره قتل الإنسان ما أكفره. Don't stretch the scene too much. قتل الإنسان ما أكفره من أي شيء خلقه من نطفة خلقه فقدره من نطفة خلقه فقدره. That's verse number 19. You can play it back a few times. Now verse number 20, the verses get shorter here, the tone starts to pick up. So I'll read them slowly, but know that you're going to read them with a sense of fluidity. So practice each verse and then you practice them together. ثم السبيل يسره ثم السبيل يسره ثم السبيل يسره ثم أماته فأقبره You hear the bounce, you know why. First rule of rhythm. فأقبره ثم إذا شاء أنشره. Going back to 20 here. ثم السبيل يسره ثم أماته فأقبره ثم إذا شاء أنشره. You want to make it really slow. Verse 22. ثم إذا شاء أنشره. Now for anything but learning purposes, you can't read that broken. But we know that this is for learning purposes. We're doing our best. So always, before and after finishing your recitation, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any mistakes, anything that I've done incorrectly. I've done this recitation for you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep that on the forefront of your mind, inshallah. Your tajweed is not getting better so that you can lead the salah. The tajweed not getting better so that your friends could say, yeah, I took this class with that guy. Your tajweed is getting better so that you can read the book of Allah as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed it. You want to read the Quran as it was revealed, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it down to you. Verse 22 again. ثُمَّ إِذَا شَاءَ أَنشَرَهُ. The ha stereo sound has been going on since verse number 11. Since 11, now we're on 22. Every ayah is ending with this ta or the ha. Either way, we're making that stereo sound. كَلَّا لَمَّا يَقْضِ مَا أَمَرَهُ كَلَّا لَمَّا يَقْضِ مَا أَمَرَهُ كَلَّا لَمَّا يَقْضِ. Take the word يَقْضِ. Now, li, it's a li. I just need you to keep your lips from touching. I need you to keep your lips from touching. Yaqli. Exaggerated? Yes. Yaqli. Keep the lips from touching. And let's define. You got wet lips, dry lips, and you've also got the outside. A lot of people say, well, it's not touching like that. Of course it's not touching like that. When you say dwi, this part is touching. Yaqli, yaql. You see the tongue pressing the molars? Li. Can you hear it? Yaqli. كلا لما يقضي ما أمره. Make the stretch there. ما أمره. فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه. I want you to take 24, and now you can hear both the heavy tongue not touch and the light tongue not touch, which is the heavy ikhfa and the light ikhfa. Fal yanzuru. So it's going to be heavy because noon sukoon is followed by a heavy letter that's not in the throat. Fal I'm not pressing it, but it's floating. Fal yanzuri. Tongue, edita teeth. فَلْيَنظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ. Now listen to them separated. يَنظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. Number one, the most common mistake in this word, in this verse, طَعَامِهِ. Why? I've never seen an ayn on a heavy list, because it's not heavy. فَلْيَنظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. Me. And that's the stereo sound. طَعَامِهِ. أَنَّا صَبَّبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. أَنَّا صَبَّبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. أَنَّا صَبَّبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. We're going to take the minimum stretch 2 there. أَنَّا صَبَّبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. You can press the tongue. صَبًّا. ثُمَّ شَقَّقَ. You hear the bounce? Because ba, qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal bounce. 5 letters that bounce. Anyone wants to put that in the comments, that'd be great. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ. شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ. Alif, ra, light, heavy. Al. Why is the ra heavy? That'd be a nice little trivia. Someone can put that in the comment. Why is this ra heavy? ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ. Yes, I'm owing the mouth. I'm doing it as an exaggeration. Al. Eventually you'll be able to pronounce the ra without moving your lips at all. When you get there, you probably won't be using these videos. Al. There could be rikhwa. There is the rolling, the vibration. Arda. Shaqqa. Don't be too worried about rolling your ra just yet. Arda. Shaqqa. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. فَأَنْبَتْنَا. Now the next verse has a noon with a baby meme on top of it. This is rule number 4 of rhythm. You've already taken a look at it. فَأَنْبَتْ. The lips are not going to come together. You're not going to say un. You're not going to say فأنبتنا فيها حبا. You can do a variation of mouth movements. Around the world, there's a whole bunch of things. So today we'll do the tight lip. You can do other things. For now, tighten up your lip. فأنبتنا فيها حبا وعنبا Make sure you get the 'i out. وعنبا وعنبا qa is behind the uvula, that little dangly thing. qa qad. Do you hear it? It's not qaf ghain, because a lot of people say khalba and they go backwards. It's qaf at the back, dad at the sides. Qad, and the air has to really fill up here because the dad needs to be heard. If you just said qad, it could be a dal, it could be a whole bunch of, it could be a ta. Qad, you want to go to listen to the verse a few times, you'll hear qad, وعنبا وقضبا وزيتونا ونخلا. Make that full nasal sound there. وزيتونا ونخلا. Oh, I need the kha enunciated here, because if you said nakhla, y'all know what that is. وَنَخْلًا وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا وَحَدَائِقَ. Ika, you heard it? Incorrect. Ika or iqa. It's great, alhamdulillah. We caught a natural mistake and I want you to be careful. وَحَدَائِقَ, not ika. You heard it, sometimes you can't hear it necessarily. وَحَدَائِقَ, you wouldn't catch it, but you have, that's why your finger is on every letter. وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وأبا متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم عامكم. Now the ayn can open straight. عامكم. But I want this to be easier for you. So متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الصاخة. It's going to be the longest stretch that we have here. This is similar to the وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. It's a east to west, the squiggly line, followed by a shadda. So it's the longest stretch that we're going to have. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَّةُ. You're going to stretch, then you're going to hold the shadda. Interesting, doesn't happen a lot in the Quran, but you're going to stretch and then hold. I want you to be aware of that. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ I want you to hear there are 5 levels to heaviness, and we're going to get into this in the next video. This is the lowest level of heavy. When kha, ghain, and qaf have a line on the bottom, kasra, zair, the line on the bottom, very light. Min akhi, not akhi, but akhi. Wa ummihi wa abih, wa ummihi wa abih, wa sahibatihi wa banih, wa sahibatihi wa banih. Please keep the wows away from wasa, wa, or wa. Is it wet? Wa, it's وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. And focus on صَاحِ وَبَنِيهِ. You're going to hear the and the is second part of the throat, and ha is the first. لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِي. We're going to go back here. Now you heard يُغْنِي. Now there's a ha after it. يُغْنِي. لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. With a little bit more flow. لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ مُسْفِرَةٌ. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ مُسْفِرَةٌ. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ مُسْفِرَةٌ. ضَاحِكَةٌ مُسْتَبْشِرَةٌ. ضَاحِكَةٌ remember the spreading sound? ضَاحِكَةٌ مُسْتَبْشِرَةٌ. وَوُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ. تَرْهَقُهَا make the ha clear. It can't be تَرْهَقُهَا. تَرْهَقُهَا قَتَرَةٌ. تَرْهَقُهَا قَتَرَةٌ. أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. It's the end of our recitation for today. I want you to keep in mind that these are tools to help you get to the correct recitation. This is one of a few tools that you could be using. I noticed from verse number 30-ish, verse number 30, all the way down to 44, all the way down to 42, we picked up the pace a little bit. So feel free to rewind and go back and listen to this again. Remember, the goal is not Tajweed. That might come very surprising from me or from anyone else that you hear, that Tajweed is not the goal. Arabic and various other studies are not the goal. The goal is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and have His mercy and have His pleasure in the paradise. That's the goal. These are all road marks. These are all kind of like exit signs, like, okay, you're on the right track. So keep that in mind. Do your best, put as much effort as you can into this, and for a few weeks I would get pretty obsessed with Tajweed. Really listen to it, read it, talk about it, read rules, ask questions in the comments if you can. But then move on. If you get stuck here, then you'll be stuck, really with one part of Islam. So, bi'idhnillah, I pray that anything good from these recordings is attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any mistakes, misconceptions, or misrepresentations are my own. Should have said this at the beginning, but please feel free to pause, listen to half. We're about 35 minutes, so please feel free to listen to half and then come back and do the rest. Rasulullah has instructed us to read the Quran until your heart is full. And after that, once you're like, okay, this is too much, I'm done hearing tongue not touch, come back to it later. Jazakallah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.